Salam Sejahtera, I'm Divashni Saravanan. My metric number is TN180059. My supervisor is DS Dr. Kamaru Ani binti Muhammad Sari and my co-supervisor is Dr. Fatima binti Yusuf. So today I would like to present about my final year project 1. My project title is Development of a Biodegradable Panel using rice straw and bamboo for an acoustic and thermal properties. These are the contents that I'm going to present in this video.
As an introduction of this project, due to the increases in noise pollution, there are many developments or new methods have been made to minimize the noise pollution. But however, their high pollutant content and synthesis in the new technologies cannot be disposed in nature because solid waste are burned in industry. Moreover, new methods have an effect on human health, such as lung problems, heart attack, skin disease, and so on. Then, in Malaysia, rice straw always ended either in trash or burnt away, and it is frequently causing problems in the process of disposal and thus contributing to the pollution environment due to the open burning and all that. Therefore, this project was aimed to recycle the rice straw, combine with bamboo and use a polypropylene as a binding agent, thereby reducing environment pollution resulting from the disposal of waste materials. The end product expected is an acoustic panels which has capable of absorbing sound. And then for problem statement, according to Balak in 1996, sound absorption material structure is commonly based on porous synthetic media such as rock wool, glass wool, polyurethane, and polyester. Moreover, need a lot of money for the manufacturing process and need a lot of large energy consumed plus affects human health. Then recycled materials are becoming a popular choice which have a low cost of production impact. In 2019, rapid urbanization and transportation development has resulted in severe noise pollution, concerns that resulted in substantial health hazards such as irritability, tinnitus, sleep disruption, and even ischemic heart disease, according to CIDIC. Zhang conclude, based on past evaluations, noise originates primarily in the domestic environment, such as locations surrounding dwelling areas, public spaces, schools, and universities in 2007.
Next, there are 3 objectives that I should achieve in my project. Firstly, to identify suitable proportion of rice straw, bamboo, and polypropylene for biodegradable panel. Then, to measure physical, acoustic, and thermal properties of the panel. And the last one is to compare with the existing acoustic panel according to ISO 11654 in 1997 standard. For literature review, there are quite a number of past studies related to my project. However, I'm going to present about a few studies only. The first one is about making a shilling board using rice husk, ashes, waste paper, and urea formaldehyde glue as a binding agent. Based on the findings, the shilling board achieved a low medium density but couldn't achieve the moisture percentage at least its 10% percentage of its original mass. However, the water absorption is higher because the tiny pores that can be seen on the surface of a shilling board at the samples. And only 1/6 specimens achieve highest maximum absorption coefficient, which is 0.893. Next research was about an acoustic panel made of sugarcane bagasse, wood dust, and cornstarch glue as binder. Based on testing results, found that when the mass decreases, the density also decreases. Then it could only achieve 0.04 thermal conductivity. Lower densities had the lowest thermal conductivity because the amount of sugarcane bagasse and wood dust with air spaces decreased, as did the size of the sample's air gaps. Moreover, it has the highest value of average water absorption due to the starch films or the layers are the moisture sensitive, so that it could absorb water. However, only one sample achieved the best sound absorption, and the proportion was 30% of sugarcane bagasse fiber, 40% of wood dust, and also 30% of cornstarch binder. Next, there is a study about thermal conductivity of a particle board using rice straw with polypropylene, but the polypropylene by using a polypropylene plastic homopolymer. The plastic waste was combined with the coupling agent and heated to 175 degrees where it can transform into a matrix. As a result, the composite has a conductivity of 0.191 degree at composition of 60% of rice straw. And the last one is about bamboo as sound absorber. This is to study whether the diameter of bamboo arrangement and length affect the sound absorption or not. As a finding of this study, bamboo with axial arrangement can absorb more sounds. Then the scope of study. The study was purposed to determining the proportion of the material. Vary the rice straw ranges between 30 to 70, bamboo between 30 to 70, and polypropylene between 50 to 70%. The second one is testing. There were three testing. First one, physical test for density and water absorption testing. Second one, acoustic test using impedance tube method for the sound absorption coefficient testing. And the third one is thermal conductivity testing using Soltec model HP110 equipment. And the last one is comparison. To compare with the gypsum standard ASTM C1396, standard specification for gypsum board. The panel size in this study is 30 cm times 30 cm with 0.5 thickness, and the rice straw will be cut into 30 cm and the bamboo size is 30 cm times 1 cm with 0.2 thickness. The raw materials of the panels are rice straw, bamboo, and also polypropylene.
Methodology chart. First one is problem statement. Was obtained through an article and journals. The problem stated is an ongoing incident due to noise pollution. It always happens around our environment and it's just that we don't focus on the problem more closely. Next, literature review. Past studies sources related to this topic are important because the process of selecting appropriate materials become easy when finding the results of past studies either pass or fail. However, improvements will be thought of and made of to the studies that have been failed. Therefore, based on the past studies, the current suitable material to make soundproof panels is from agro waste.
Data collection included three stages, which is raw materials used, mixing of the materials, and also the molding of the panel. First step, the rice straw must be dried for several days. And then the dimension of the composites must set at 200 gram and also 300 gram for a 30 cm times 30 cm dimension respectively. And then it was measured into 0.5 cm thickness. Next, the bamboo strips are cut into 30 cm times 1 cm dimension and the thickness is maintained about 0.2 cm. Mixing will be manually and it is a wet process. There will be 6 sample mixtures to determine the best proportions of bamboo, polypropylene and also the rice straw. The frame screen mold will be used for the panel making. There will be the size of the mold is as mentioned 30 cm times 30 cm with thickness of 0.5 cm is fixed. And then the mold will be pressed through a hot press machine and the maintained degree is 170 degrees Celsius under desired control pressure. Next, for testing, there will be 4 testing to achieve the objectives. Moreover, to measure the physical, acoustic, and also thermal properties. The expected result from the above test is to obtain optimal values for acoustic and thermal properties so that it can be compared with previous study whether the use of the material in the study is able to produce better acoustic panels or not. Data analysis is by using a software such as Microsoft Excel is used to obtain appropriate charts for data analysis. Last one is the conclusion and suggestion to be made from the project. Next, for testing, as mentioned, the first one, electronic balances are used to measure mass and the density will be calculated manually by using the formula as mentioned in the slide. The second one is water absorption test, is to determine the water absorption percentage for the panel board. The samples undergo water absorption test by following the ASTM D750 standard for 24 hours. The test is done by the total immersion of all samples is in distilled water at room temperature. For the sound absorption tests were performed in accordance with BS EN ISO 10534. The sound absorption coefficient was measured using the impedance tube method according to ASTM E105098 as shown in the figure. It is about the sound waves travel through the tube, struck the sample and were reflected resulting in a standing wave interference pattern. 6 different samples were used to test the sound absorption coefficient. And the last test was about thermal conductivity test, is to see whether the panel can be used as heat insulator. The test will be conducting by use thermal conductivity of the building material, Soltec HE model 110. From this project, the expected result from the testing that will be conducted is to obtain the optimal values for acoustic and thermal properties of the panel so that it can be compared with previous studies whether the use of the materials in this study is able to produce better acoustic panels than previous studies. Moreover, to achieve a good sound absorption panel which have a high sound coefficient and also a good thermal by using materials that mentioned in this video. As a conclusion of this presentation, it is about an acoustic panel made of rice straw, bamboo and polypropylene as an initiative taken to use environmental friendly material as sound absorber which can act to control noise and also the material used won't be harm to the human health. Then the tests such as density, water absorption test, sound absorption coefficient test and also thermal conductivity should be done to prove that the panel has potential of high sound absorption and also a good thermal conductivity. My references are from various sources such as books, journals, articles, and also internet. However, the references I mentioned here is based on the contents of I put in these slides. The Gantt chart shows the progress of my project from week 1 until week 14. There are two colors, as you can see, one for planning and another one for actual. However, as in my Gantt chart, there are some weeks that I couldn't achieve to finish the task. As for the planning, especially for the finding of literature review, it took a long time for me to find previous study based on my project. But at the end, I had managed to finish my thesis video and also slides on time as per my planning by week 14. That's all for the presentation of my project. Thank you.